Well, the Moto X name is gone, and in its place, the Moto Z. It's like Sony and Moto swapped letters, Sony dropping its Z from their Xperia line, and Moto dropping its Moto X moniker for the Z. And you wonder why people get confused. Today at Lenovo Tech World, the Moto Z was announced. Well, the Moto Z Droid and the Moto Z Force Droid. Why Droid? Because these are Verizon exclusives, which means that these phones will come only to Verizon first this summer, and the unlocked versions will come to the rest of us in the fall. And because I'm not one for carrier branding or carrier bloatware, looks like I'll be waiting for the Z in September. The Moto Z and Moto Z Force are similar phones except for its battery, camera, and its type of durability on its display. But let's talk about the Moto Z first. The Moto Z comes in at a 5.5-inch 1440p AMOLED display, smaller than the X's 5.7-inch display, a Snapdragon 820 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, a 13-megapixel rear camera with an f1.8 aperture, OIS, and laser autofocus. The Moto X didn't have this last year, so this is a welcome addition, even though their EIS was pretty good. A 2600 mAh battery, which is smaller than the 3000 mAh version on the X, which is a bit of a bummer. I feel like 3000 mAh should be the minimum. A micro SD slot for expandable storage, a front-facing fingerprint reader, 32 or 64 gigs of internal storage, IR sensors in the front for its Moto display. I'm so very happy they didn't get rid of that, and USB Type-C. Throwing that fingerprint reader on the front means the Z loses front-facing stereo speakers, which is a huge disappointment for someone like me because I really enjoyed them on the X. They are still my favorite speakers on any smartphone to date, but it looks like Lenovo might have something else up its sleeve, which I'll get into. This phone is also missing your standard 3.5mm headphone jack. Instead, you'll be using wireless earbuds or headphones, and in the future, I'm sure they'll have more USB Type-C wired versions, but in case you still want to use your standard pair, Lenovo is supplying a 3.5mm to USB Type-C headphone port adapter. And like I said earlier, the Moto Z Force Droid Edition is an exclusive to only Verizon. But if I'm reading my news correctly, there won't be an unlocked version of this particular phone, only the Moto Z. The Moto Z Force differs from the Moto Z in 3 ways. Instead of a 2600 mAh battery, it comes with a 3500 mAh battery. Instead of a 13-megapixel camera, it comes with a 21-megapixel, and its display has Shatter Shield technology, which means its display won't crack or shatter when you drop it. Now here's where the Moto Z starts to separate itself from other phones. The Moto Z has these pins and magnets in the rear, and how this works is you're able to buy additions for your phone called Moto Mods. These Moto Mods are Moto's way of introducing a more modular phone. A few of these Moto Mods were announced with more on the way. One of them is a power pack that adds 2200 mAh of battery. Another will add a 70-inch projector to your phone in 480p resolution, and the one I'm interested in is made from JBL, which adds two 27mm 3-watt speakers. Sure, they're backfiring speakers, but I'm really curious how good these sound. On top of that, these speakers have an additional 1000 mAh battery for more juice, and a kickstand. Cute. And more of these are on the way. What I like about these Moto Mods is it's different than the modular setup on the G5. On the G5, you have to pull the module from the bottom, which turns the phone off. On the Moto Z, you just snap the pins on the back with a magnet and it automatically detects it, and you can start using the mod right there. No need for rebooting your phone or anything like that. And there's a third-party developer mod kit so other companies can get in on this and hopefully bring out more useful mods to the consumer. There's still no price point on this phone. I'm sure that'll come in time. The Z looks good. Glass, aluminum, stainless steel, and in the software department, it looks like they're still keeping their close to stock Android feel, and it's something like that that'll keep me reeling me in. I am a bit disappointed that Moto has set its crusade on offering a clean experience and calling things pure and keeping things unlocked, but this year they give exclusive rights to Verizon for a few months before carrying the phone out to the consumer, or the rest of the consumers. But I guess they're a business, and whether or not Lenovo had an influence on that is another question. For now, I'll wait 3 months.